Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a round on the hover side of the Transformers versus Flyers situation battle. I got the Byarlant Custom. The other four members of the team are the Byarlant Isolde, the Standard Byarlant, the Zero Shiki Amuro Ray type, and the Thunderbolt Goof. And I did really well in the Byron Custom. I have not run this thing in forever because just when I played it, it's kind of been a gigantic target. But since I'm on a whole team of gigantic targets, I think it's a little bit less unique and a little bit harder to get singled out that way. Uh, it is kind of interesting to me that all of the hover suits, except maybe the Goof, are you know generally larger in some dimension than the flyers. The Zirashiki has a little bit more of a backpack at least than most of those. So does so does the Goof. But yeah, we've got the Triangle Squad here, which original Byarlant used to call the Suicide Triangle. This was definitely the Homicide Triangle. And as for the assault, I don't know. But yeah, Byarlant Custom has probably still the best beam machine gun in the game. It fires very fast. It has low heat. It has piercing. So those little rapid fire mega particle cannons it has are really excellent. The thing I found about this round is that I did my best when I couldn't quite see what I was doing. I just kind of had to line things up and take it on faith that I was going to hit things. Because, yeah, that's kind of a thing with the large suits going in, for close combat. It's really kind of hard to keep track of where you are at times. But yeah, unfortunately, team is a little bit outnumbered at the moment. Enemy team, I think, will take the lead for a little bit. I don't remember how long that lasted. But yeah, I'm also, there. Also, I don't know that there's a lot of other mobile suits that can actually enter flight mode while holding a heavy attack. I know there's a lot of abilities you can't activate while holding a charge or a heavy. So, I don't know if that's unique to the Byarlant Custom, but first I'd have to find other flyers that have heavy attacks. But yeah, hit it with the big claw. Big claw, of course, has very short range, but does really, really good damage and does cause heavy stagger. So, yeah, so it's got a standard melee that also becomes a heavy attack with, a nice, like, Psycho Crusher style attack pattern with, knockdown. Has the claws for a heavy stagger. And then, yeah, a stunning mega particle cannon and the rapid fire ones. It's got a good kit. It is, and I think, like I said, I think on this team where there's a bunch of large things, it's not as much of an issue as it used to be. I have a feeling if you were doing doing a higher cost and fighting a bunch of flap boost, the little flap booster suits as opposed to standard transforming suits, you probably have a little bit more of a problem with it. Again, I haven't run this in a while. This was just kind of nice because the ability to run it actually half decently, except for occasionally crashing into your allies who are also trying to attack. Just really a nice thing. But that person got around the corner with iframes. I'm just gonna push forward with the claw, which yes does heavy stagger. And that was enough to let me get the knockdown. And yeah, the big downswing was enough to take that Gazome out. So, yeah. That is, I think that's the Zeta plus A1 over there that just got taken out. Not 100% sure. That looks like the Riga Z Custom going by. But yeah, I'm trying, I do have an issue frequently with getting too attached to using the heavy attacks when ranged attacks or another attack would be more useful. Just, sometimes when you've got a weapon charged or when I've got a weapon charged, it's very hard for me to stop committing to that weapon. But sometimes it's the right move. Sometimes if you have something that's a little bit faster to fire or faster to resolve itself, it's a much better move than just, holding out for that big swing. But that is kind of hard for me to remember to do sometimes. Um, like I said, I just, it's part and parcel of the whole tunnel vision thing I talk about. It is easy to just, overcommit to a course of action, but yeah, the more flexible you are, the better off you're going to be. Like, that was not quite too bad. Me trying to, turning to that Regency custom. What I really wanted to do was what it looks like our standard Byarlant did, which was knock it out of the air. I also noticed someone else was about to swing, so I didn't use my attack. And yeah, just didn't want to didn't want to knock anybody over with a heavy when I could be going like this and knocking multiple people over with a heavy. And yeah, the claw is really fast, and not having a beam saber blade or anything, significantly less obvious I feel like to use than other weapons. Yeah, and that jammer fin is just there was no way out for it. I do have type advantage. I hit pretty hard even with my ranged weapons, and since that mega particle rapid fire gun has piercing, hiding behind the wing of the base wasn't able to do it any good at all. So, but let's see. Yeah, we've got a decent lead. There's 90 seconds to go, and yeah, like I said, I've been enjoying this. I haven't run this in forever, so it was nice. And yeah, just glad that I'm glad the dailies were easy today, because just, man, sometimes when the weather gets just right, like the sinuses get so bad that the crud will just choke me, and I was having one of those days today. And I had a headache on top of it, so yeah, just gradually starting to feel better, but man, just I don't recommend sinuses or spines for people who can opt out. Just really not great. But let's see. Got that? Yeah. Delta Chi, I think, is what that was, because it had the fin funnels. Yeah, we've got 30-some seconds left. The base bomb, I'm pretty sure, does not go off, which, to be honest, is good, because we've already got plenty enough lead. Yeah, base bomb diffused, that's fine. And I'm going to try and get a heavy here. I kind of took a bad angle because I wanted to not just be directly in tackle line with people. But that, of course, meant that I did not actually hit anything. So, yeah, not a great trade-off. That said, though, I have just a tiny bit of time left to hit something, and I'm just going to swing and miss. Yeah, we got it. Was a good round. And, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it went. And, yeah, top score at 57-48. About a quarter of the team scored. The standard Byarlant outdamaged me by a mile. Really nice work. And, yeah, 143,009 and 3 for me. That's still no slouch, so I'm happy with it. That is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We'll be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. So it's hobby show season in Japan again, and a couple of things that got announced for new G-Quux models are interesting. Next June, we are going to get the high-grade G-Quux Homburby. So I liked that design. I'd be perfectly happy to be able to get it. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to get my hands on that. And also, they are going to do a premium Bandai version of the Gundam Unit 1 that Char fights in Episode 2 right after he steals the White Gundam. So, yeah, that is, I want to get that too. That is, I like G-Quux. I like the designs. I'm happy to see more stuff coming out from it. There's not a ton of mobile suit designs left for the series, I think, that they haven't done. Possibly like the mass production version of the GAN could be a thing. And of course, there's, the Kikaroga and the Psycho Gundam, which I kind of have my doubts about because they're both kind of big, but I would love to have them if they did it. The other neat thing that showed off at the whatever the hobby show is this weekend is we did get a look at they're doing a Transformers Missing Link version of Ultra Magnus. That, of course, is, the Missing Link line are the G1 styled figures with extra articulation and such. They're doing an Ultra Magnus, and, it looks pretty good for keeping that original design and making it more posable. And they just announced Delta Magnus, aka Powered Convoy, the original Diaclone colors of the mold. If you've never seen that, that is a gray body with blue head and arms, and or no, head and blue arms, and yeah, it looks really nice. And I think if I'm only going to get one, I'm probably going to try and get the Powered Convoy version.